This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
A very good evening to you all this evening. It is a very special edition of Extra Time. Well, it always seems to be the extra time and the added time that we're talking about lately. And this tonight is because VAR have done Wolves again. I've got a list of 2 pages. I'm like Sooty tonight of things that have done Wolves. VAR, are you fed up of it? VAR, is enough? VAR, are you fed up of going and travelling and spending all your money to go and watch Wolves to be let down by VAR? VAR, should there be a fan protest? It's just all up there. We're fed up as Wolves fans about this. There are a lot of people that are not just fed up or frustrated, but incredibly angry. And we're going to be chewing the fat tonight. If you want to get on the show tonight, all you need to do is message Always Wolves Facebook page, and you can get on the show yourself. Or if you want to put it in the comment section, we'll try and get you on. But the producer's backstage, so if you do message the Facebook page, she's got the link and you can come and join us and have your view tonight. We do have a couple of debutants as well, and we're going to get stuck in. Obviously, we'll be covering the game as always, our man of the match performance rating and highlights. But there's so much to get stuck into tonight. I do want to say a big thank you, of course, before we get started, to Creation Wolf for powering this special edition, this Tuesday night edition of Extra Time. They deliver the industry's latest and most advanced digital solutions. They're a local company. If you've got a business, get in touch with them. They'll take your digital awareness to the next level. They help us and they're absolutely fantastic. The link is creationwolf.com and it's in the link below. We will also, obviously, tonight discuss about a couple of offers from our friends at FOCO and, of course, NordVPN. And we've done a brand new T-shirt, guys. We've done a brand new T-shirt, and you've got to stay and watch for that because we thought, why not? Because, people are going to want to wear something about VAR, so we've done a T-shirt. So let's get stuck in. We're going to bring on, first of all, the Lord himself. It is matching twin person here, Mr.
Dave,
Jake.
you've got the fake one from DHgate because mine looks a different colour to yours.
No, I've got the actual proper one. I think you've got the fake one, mate.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
Right, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm absolutely good. Obviously, a little bit down about last night, and we're going to be talking about that. I mean, it's just so frustrating, isn't it? It's so frustrating. We've also, of course, because we have to have the voice of reason on, and he needs his own T-shirt, I think. So we've got the voice of reason on as well. Jack, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, not so bad.
You
Yourself?
right, Jack? Fantastic, mate. I just love the fact that, I love the fact, mate, that you've always got that fancy wallpaper in the background and you've got the dark black drapes. It's like the doom is coming forward. It's like got dark black drapes. If you listen to it on the podcast, Jack normally is sat with a beautiful decorative wallpaper behind him, and tonight he's in somber mood. You wasn't there last night, Jack, but you were messaging me after the game because I was asking you about, before I did my reaction, regarding some of the decisions, because you always say how it is, and 4 VAR decisions potentially that went against Wolves last night in one game. Listening to it back on the radio on the way back as well, they were laying in to the VAR. We've also got coming back. He's been away for a while. He loves his Formula One. He can't get his phone to work properly, but never mind. It's Giuseppe.
Hello there. Hello.
Oh, you've got rid of the jacket now, have you?
Yes, I took it off.
He's took it off, and did you watch the game last night, Giuseppe?
Yes, I did. Yes,
he did. So this is going to be the first half. The second half, we are going to be having come on for us. We're going to be Chris Humphreys, who's part of the 1877 Trust, otherwise known as Cheerful Chris. Not sure how cheerful he will be. We will be having debutants from AJ and Richard will be making their full debuts. And I tell you what, no chat about VAR and last night would be complete if we did not have Sutty come on as well. We're making sure that he comes on after the watershed, of course, for all you kids out there. It will get feisty, but it's almost nearly 9 o'clock anyway. And we wanted to go late because it is going to be quite a passionate subject to talk about this evening. Jason, why don't you kick us off, mate?
I'm a bit worried about Jack's backdrop because last time I see my Nancy went through one of them. You're not a Bushby Crim, are you, Jack?
Not quite. Not yet.
Not
yet.
Anyway, listen, the problem is, because of what happened last night, you almost forget about the football side of things. So I always do anyway, but I just watched a recap back of the match. You can get the 3-minute clips on Sky. But that's the thing now. All we're going to talk about tonight, or in the main, is VAR, and the football gets forgotten, and that's such a shame. Let's just go through the game very briefly. Poor marking for the first goal, really. I think it was Alex Iwobi, runs through the middle. He wasn't unmarked as such, but it was just an easy run. And it was the obvious...
To be fair, mate, on that, yeah, it was a very slow start again, because just before that, they had another opportunity from the other side that went across the face of the area. The warning signs were there as well.
Yeah.
And long,
well,
7 minutes in.
This is what I mean. They're putting that cross into the box, and it's an obvious run that Alex Iwobi's going to make. It's the only run, really, that should have got picked up. And obviously, they're 1-0 up. Hwang, for me, once again, I'm going to speak more about Hwang a bit later. But then he rockets one against the bar. That could have obviously changed the game. I thought we did well to get back in it, really. Bellegarde's run, we've seen him beat 2 players. We see he's going to be a really explosive player. Puts the ball over to Cunha. And I'm so pleased for Cunha as well there, because that was a striker's goal. Header. He hasn't really been popping up in the box with his head. But Bellegarde put a great ball over, which is once again what we've been missing. And Cunha was in the right place at the right time. Then, obviously, VAR just spoilt the game for everyone. That's all everyone's talking about, and all the media outlets on social media. That's all we spoke about today. The first penalty, there's a really good angle that VAR have shown. That's been shown, which would have been obviously accessible to VAR.
Is that the bit where it shows him touching the ball?
Touching the ball, you see the trajectory of the ball move away in the direction he's kicked it in, and then a penalty gets given. And there's hardly any contact. Are you telling me that these people at Stockley Park who are sitting there around 20 screens and have got a benefit of slowing it down and fast forwarding it and seeing different angles cannot pick up that is not a penalty? So that's the first one. So that's 2-1. So straight away, our tails are between our legs then, because we know what's coming. The Hwang penalty, I know we're Wolves fans. Have we really got any complaints with that? Even all the pundits are saying it was a penalty, because it's easy for me to sit here and berate VAR and all the decisions against us, and then we get a penalty at the other end. And, oh, great, yeah, it's a penalty, yeah, well done. But it actually wasn't it? You mean?
Yeah, no, it was right in front of us as well, right in front of us. He barged him. It was he won the ball, definite penalty.
Yeah, look how strong and powerful Hwang is to get that head out, head it forward, right into his pass. He was so hungry to score, so that's a definite penalty, and he converted it well. Then, obviously, we're back in it there, but then the third one, what can you say about that? I mean, everything is then obviously conspired to go against us. I've got to feel so sorry for Gary O'Neill. I mean, he was so honest in his interview. We're so lucky to have that manager.
Brilliant interview.
So lucky to have that manager who really is one of the best young managers in the league now. And I think we're beginning to see it. He's been given a bit of time. He had a rocky start. Let's forget about all that now. We have got a good manager at the helm, a good, honest manager. And you know what? What a set of bollocks he's got. It's after 9 o'clock. I can say the word bollocks. What a set of bollocks he has got to go in the referee's room and challenge
You just about made it, Jason, by 20 seconds.
Brilliant. What a set of balls he's got, because to go in there and challenge them And that's so important. They're not getting challenged. I put a quote on social media saying, why don't the referees come out and speak? And yeah, they'll give us this narrative, and I'm sure they're going to be media trained. But they need to be held accountable, Dave. They really, really do. These decisions yesterday, we all know why VAR was set up. And if you look at the principle of VAR, why it was set up, do you know what? It could actually work very well. But in its form, the way it's being handled, it doesn't work in the slightest. And the worst decision out the lot for me, which would have been a game changer, is the Kilman situation. So we've got to, this is so important. Forget the penalties to a degree. Look at that Kilman situation. I was arguing with a Wolves fan on Twitter today who said, oh, it was soft, it should have been a yellow. Right. Oh my good God, it was never a sending off. Gary O'Neill hit the nail on the head, right? So the referee said it was a soft headbutt. It's just ridiculous. So the player gets up, surely with intent. Why is he squaring up to Kilman? He puts his head into Kilman. Whether it's a soft headbutt, what's he going to do? Break Kilman's nose to get a red card. So he's put his head into Kilman's head. Now, if Kilman had gone down, right, red card, 100%, it can't not be a red card. If Kilman hits the deck and goes to ground, it has to be a red card. It can't not be. What they're going to do, review it and go, oh, don't know about that. It's a red card. But because Kilman is an honest player, right, and this is the place that we want, because Kilman's an honest player, he's obviously stood his ground and not made a meal of it. Listen, there's a few of these foreign players which would have gone down. Raul Jimenez, when he was at Wolves, he would have gone down. No problem at all. Moutinho, if that had happened to him, he'd have gone down. They'd have all gone down. Kilman didn't. And you know what? It's not, that's by no means cost us. What's cost us is the poor referee and the VAR decisions. But that was the killer for me. How can that not be a red card? The penalties can always be subjective, Dave. They can. Whichever way you look at it, it's a trip in the box, it's a foul in the box, there's contact in the box. They're not. Go on.
The thing that I want to come back in on, what the things, and then we're going to get Jack coming in on next one. Obviously, we've got a lot to talk about with regards to this all tonight. You're absolutely right about the headbutt. Absolutely. He's headbutted him. Kilman, you've got to respect Kilman. He doesn't play act or go down. But what is the signal that it's sending to the players is like, well, if you're honourable and you don't go down like a bag of suds, a bag of
spuds.
Yeah, a bag of spuds that you've been shot, then you won't get the decision. But
so
if you go
their third penalty,
theatrically,
what's his name? Tom Kearney played the game, didn't he, Dave? Went down, right? Didn't have to go down, went down. Why did he go down? Because he knew he'd have a penalty in the last minute. Gets it, right? Referee didn't give it, then it gets overturned by VAR. Yeah. Ref obviously didn't give it at first, but he's playing the game. He didn't need to go down, he did. If Kilman goes down, it's a red card. Tom Kearney did exactly the same, simulated it and got the penalty and they won the game. Was we cheated out of it? Massively.
And this coming back onto that, so it's basically sending a message to cheat is basically what it's saying, is like, or over exaggerate. And the other point that I want to come back on, and I'm going to bring Jack in on this as well. You've missed out the potential, the red card for the penalty on Wang, because that was the second yellow. And Gary O'Neill said that that the officials have come back and said that should have been a sending off. So that's another down to 9 men. Not just, they shouldn't have even had 9 men after that should have been a sending off 2-2, and they're down to 10 men, and we've got 14-15 minutes to go. Doesn't happen. And then the other thing that really, really frustrates me is the clear and obvious thing. The referees come out and said to Gary O'Neill when he talked about him in his room afterwards, saying, I wish they'd have sent me to the screen and I would have overturned it, because looking at it back, it wasn't a penalty. However, when it comes to Wolves in the 4th minute of added time, Atwell, his name's there again, decides that the referee has made a clear and obvious error when everyone's saying it's not a penalty anyway. And he's decided, because it's Wolves, and this is the thing that gets me, the one wasn't, the other one, and he sends the ref to the monitor, and the referee Not many referees are going to go to the monitor and then at the end of the game overturn that decision. What the VAR
by their potential employers, by the people that are paying their wages effectively.
Exactly.
Yeah, because they're not going to argue.
VAR have decided the game. There's 4 incidents in one game which have all gone against Wolves. And you know, the Wolves fans, Jack, I know you weren't there, mate, but you watch it. You go pretty much home and away. Back to you. The Wolves fans have travelled down there on a Monday. You know, some people taking time off work, going down there. It's wet, it's rainy, it's cold, just like we did at Sheffield United. 3,000 Wolves fans going down there. Fantastic voices all night, back in the team. I mean, the Fulham fans. I mean, where were they? I mean, they were so. I mean, they were so quiet. Not disrespecting Fulham, but like, where were you? It's like, even at the end, it's like we only heard a few bits every so often. The Wolves fans were magnificent, back in the team throughout, but it's not fair it's not fair on the players. It's not fair on Gary O'Neill. It's not fair on the club. It's not fair on the badge. It's not fair on the fans that are paying good money to go down and support the team. If our team have lost and we've been crap, we'll say it. We haven't put a performance in or anything like that. We'll say it. You know, they weren't at their best last night, you know, but we fought. We got back into it twice. I thought we'd go on and win the game. I still thought we'd go on the win. I said to the guy in front of me, at 2-1, we'll win this 3-2. I felt we would. But then you get that decision, and I'm quite mild-mannered, and, you know, and I've had enough. I've had enough of excuses. I've had enough of Howard Webb with his car parking space at Compton coming down and apologising. Apologising does not cut it. It's, you know, does the club need to make more action about this? There's talk about, you know, a demonstration. There's talk about the old gold pack that are going to be doing something in the stands for the next game. Jack, you might be able to speak a little bit more about this because you're on the Matchday Experience group as well. You know, about, you know, making a message, taking a stand. You know, Wolves trying to be nice. Gary O'Neill trying to be a gentleman and talk through. But like, when you're getting peed on and laughed at every single game, it's ridiculous. These things will even themselves out. Well, we're waiting, Jack.
No, absolutely. I think, you know, we've said before, haven't we, time and time again, you know, all you want to do is have a fair crack of it. Like you've just said, if we'd have turned up last night and got absolutely battered and lost 5-0, I'll take that, because I support Wolves and I'm kind of used to it now after 20 odd years of supporting us. We get beaten by better teams. It happens. What you don't want is to travel down there, spend time, take time off work, etc., and then to be cheated out of what I thought was probably a deserved point by some absolutely diabolical decisions from a referee who, let's face it, has form. You know, this was the same referee that we had last year at home to Leeds when he lost complete control of the game. He sent Nunes off for pushing the linesman, and the video footage showed that there was no push at all. He sent off Johnny, didn't he? And then originally said yellow, then changed it to red. He gave them a goal when the whole world could see that Traore's shirt was pulled. So this referee's got form against us. And I sort of said to my dad watching the game before it even kicked off, watch this ref today. He'll have a big say in this game. And it shouldn't be like that. We shouldn't be sitting there before a game, whether you're in the stand or at home watching, and saying the referee is going to have a big influence on this game. It shouldn't be like that. You know, it's getting beyond a joke now. The referees have such a big influence with VAR now that they're almost deciding the game. You know, that game yesterday was decided by refereeing decisions. It wasn't anything good that Fulham did or anything bad that we did. It was what the referee decided, and the VAR, his colleague in VAR, they decided the result of that game. They decided that Fulham were going to win that game by giving them 2 penalties that weren't penalties and failing to send off 2 players in the second half. That's what cost Wolves the game. That's what won Fulham the game. Nothing that Fulham did or nothing that Wolves did. It was the officials, and that's wrong. That's just absolutely wrong.
Giuseppe, what's your take?
Well, really, I'm not really happy, really, to be fair. But the first goal, I agree with Jason. Obviously, like we made that mistake, but it's not the issue. Basically, is that VAR is just I I can't physically get my head around it anymore. It's, how can I explain it? It's basically like corrupt, basically. Yeah. But can somebody tell me, please, if I'm wrong, just say I'm wrong, right? Is VAR allowed to overrule the referee?
Well, VAR is not allowed. It's not there to overrule the referee as such, but it's there to guide the referee if they think the referee has made, in brackets, a clear and obvious mistake. And this is part of what really annoyed me about last night.
Yeah.
In the fact that the first penalty.
It was not a penalty.
Well,
was not a penalty.
I mean, it's the opposite end to where we're. I mean, we're in the. If you've watched it on the telly,
yeah,
you'll probably have a much better idea than us in the stands. We're in the stands. We're at the opposite end of the ground to where the Semedo penalty was awarded. So obviously, it goes to the VAR check. It was a very long check as well.
Yeah.
And you know, as Jason's quite pointed out. There's, Semedo, and as Gary O'Neill points out, Semedo touched the ball before the player, and they haven't overturned it. Okay, maybe they're saying that's not a clear and obvious. Giuseppe, let me finish. Okay. Maybe they're saying that's not a clear and obvious error to the referee. They've held it down. But then the last penalty, the decisive penalty that they give away, give to Fulham. I could say Sheffield United because it's like deja bloody vu. In the 94th minute, the thing that makes me really, really angry, the referee has not given that penalty. He's waved play on and then played on. But Stuart Atwell and the minions in the VAR room at Stockley Park have decided that incident is a clear and obvious mistake and sent the referee to the monitor, and once the referee is going to the monitor, we all know what the answer is, and that's the thing that really gets me. It's like, why is one not and one is the other? Is it because of the club badge? Is it because it's Wolves? Is it because it's Stuart Atwell who keeps popping up all the time? I don't know. It just winds me up. It winds the fan base up.
Yeah, it does.
We're sat there in the stadium, supporting our team, and it's like deja blooming vu again. Deja vu of Sheffield United again, and it's just. If you watch my vlog, I'm saying, are they going to do it to us again? Are they going to do it to us again? And they've done it to us again. Yeah.
But this is what I don't get. They do all these angles. Why are you doing all these angles? Use at least one angle that you can see what's going on. But why are you using all these freaking angles, all these silly angles? I don't get it. They're just.
Well, Jason, why are they using all these silly angles?
Because it's just terrible. Because, right, as you know, I love my football. I watch all the leagues. I watch Serie A, Bundesliga, every foreign league. Obviously, I was watching Lazio and Celtic today, and the referee pointed because there was a foul in the Celtic penalty box. So the referee pointed to the spot. Yeah. Then, because obviously it was the same foul that Joe Gomez did on I can't remember who it was. Was it
Doesn't matter who it was, but I know what you mean.
Yeah. So basically, he pointed to the spot. Then they were speaking to the VAR. And then he went to the screen, had a look at the screen. It was no penalty, no foul in the box. So he didn't give it. So this is why I don't get why aren't why aren't they telling the referee to go to the screen and have a look at this?
Well, had you been sent to the screen for the first one, the referee's already told Gary O'Neill.
Yeah.
I mean, he's told Gary O'Neill, Jason, that he wished he'd have been sent to the screen by Stockley Park for the Semedo one because he would have overturned it.
Yeah.
He said the match officials have admitted they got it wrong with the Kilman headbutt. It's like a soft
that
headbutt.
Should have been a red.
He's also admitted that that Wang should have been the foul on Wang. The guy should have had a second yellow. That's 3. And then he's had a bit of a disagreement with O'Neill about the last one. I'm going to bring Jason in now, Jason, to pick up on everything that's said. What's the answer, mate? I mean, what can we as fans do? Like I say, the old gold pack. We do the flags at Molineux. They're looking at putting something together for the Burnley game.
What you're going to do, if you're going to put an argument to it, you've got to take out the word corruption, and that's important because you can't prove it, and then all of a sudden it almost underlines the pointlessness of what you do, and it looks like it's a bit of a, you're clutching at straws, really. So you've got to have a more structured argument towards it. So the word to use if you're going to do any displays and banners is not the word corruption.
I agree.
They can just discard that almost immediately, right?
I think Wolves to compare to Everton, they did their thing. I think we need to be a little bit more clever with what we say.
Absolutely, I think we do need to be boxed up, and I think the fans do need to do something because it's only going to get worse. They're talking today now, bro, bringing it in for throw-ins and free kicks. Our game. So we get to the match. The match kicks off at 3:00. When I was 10, 11, I wouldn't go, if I wasn't going to the match, I'd turn grandstand on and 4:45, all the matches would be finishing, right? It's now sometimes 5 past, 10 past 5 before matches are finishing. It's ridiculous. They just go on and on and on, right? Now, if you think about it, if they're going to slow games down for throw-ins and free kicks and corners, these games will never end. It'll burn the players out and it'll burn us as supporters out. It's not even fair on supporters by doing that. Supporters that travel the width and breadth of the country to go and watch their club all over, trains, relying on public transport, to be treated in such a ridiculous way. Gary O'Neill has gone into the ref yesterday in the comfort of his own dressing room. That ref can say what he wants. Gary O'Neill has come out and said what the ref has said. We believe Gary O'Neill. The ref could turn around and say, I didn't say that to Gary O'Neill. So why don't they get the ref out to speak to the cameras? Why don't they you just ask them the questions. Do you think the referee is going to speak to the cameras like he did to Gary O'Neill? Not in a million years. Of course he isn't, right? But they do need to be held accountable. This can't keep happening. This really is such a simple idea and process that they've come up with. VAR should work like goal line technology. It either was or it wasn't. And here's the definitive answer. Why is it now that when we used to go down the pub after the match years ago and the ref had made a decision, we'd almost forget about it. It was just part of the game and we accepted it. We can't accept this because it's not part of the game. It's the game now. This is all we're focusing on. VAR is taking over football completely. And if they do bring it, they're on about this sin bin now. So the refs are already getting absolute pelters, right? They're getting decisions wrong all the time. Then VAR getting decisions wrong. Oh, I know. Do we send him off? Do we give him a yellow card? What should we do? Oh, I know. We'll give him a gold card now, an orange card. We'll sin bin him for 10 minutes. Oh, my good God. It's just turning into a circus.
Do you know what, Jason? I was listening to this earlier because this sin bin thing has been running in the background in the lower leagues for about 3 or 4 years. And I was listening to the radio, TalkSport, and the referee came on that was part of that, and he said it really made a difference, the sin bin. I'm not saying that's what should happen, but they are voting on this in March next year, and sin binning, from what was said on the radio today, if it's a 6-2 vote, could come into the Premier League from next season.
Okay, now listen, I don't mind anything that enhances our game and helps our game, right? VAR isn't. We can talk about what might happen with free kicks, corners and sin bins, etc. But right now, this is not helping our game at all. All you see on the social media channels, all you see on media outlets, all we seem to talk about is VAR. We're not talking about Huang smashing one against the bar, the perfect penalty straight down the middle, bursting through. We're not talking about any of that, are we? We're talking about a referee making them
exactly. And the referees.
So if we're going to do that, get them out to speak at the end of the games.
Jason, you were there because, like, we talked to Johnny Phillips, if you remember, about this when we had a podcast, and we're overdue an in-person podcast, by the way, so we'll have to sort one soon. But we had Johnny Phillips on as a guest, didn't we? And we asked him about this. Johnny Phillips, would he? How does he feel about the referees? He was dead set against it, weren't he, coming out and talking?
Well, maybe so, but where do we go with this? Because these referees now, then we get an apology, like you said, from Howard Webb, and it goes again. The cycle continues. They'll drop him into the Championship for a fortnight. Then he's back. It's not good enough. It doesn't work. So they've got to do something else. So why don't they mic the refs up? Why don't they let the refs speak? Because they're scared that they're going to get found out.
Jason, I'm all for, personally, if you watch the rugby and stuff like that, I'd like, from a fan just in a stadium, when we sat there, not knowing what the bloody hell's going on half the time, sitting around waiting, I'd love to be able to hear the referee and the park
part of the difference is, Dave, and I'm going to offend and upset people by saying this, but football is a completely different sport to rugby, right from grassroots level, right from the parents around the side of pitches, right into the stands at rugby, right onto the pitch at rugby. It's completely different. There's so much more respect in that sport than there is in our sport. So that's part of the reason why they can't mic them up, because players would be swearing. The refs of it, it wouldn't actually be great listening. We think it would be, but it wouldn't be. You know, we get a bit more transparency.
Jason, I agree with what you're saying on that point. You make that makes a really, really good point. But from a fan point of view, it's a spectacle. You know, you're leaving games at like 10:30 at night, traveling down to Fulham with that, and like you just left empty.
And they don't care. You know what? Everything is geared around money in this game. Everything's geared around the TV rights. They don't care about fans at all. That's gone. We're a byproduct.
But they should care about fans now. They need to be caring the fans, and the fans are, without the fans, there is no product.
Yes, but we are not the money generators, Dave. We're not the money generators, are we? The TV companies are the money generators. My 900 quid season ticket ain't making that much difference. It's not.
Jason, you're right. They could play. Most clubs could play with empty stadiums. I mean, you know, look at the smaller clubs. But the fans generate the atmosphere, and they generate the fans are the lifeblood of everything.
VAR's killing it. I've seen so many people on social media who were saying, "Oh, do you know what? I'm not even that bothered about going." You know, when I was 10 years ago, I'm just going to say this: if I missed a match, I'll be gutted. If I miss a match now, I don't give a shit because it's after 9:30.
Jack, this is a point that you've raised and we've talked about, and this is very, very important. And I'm sure that we'll talk about this in the second half of the show as well. Fans are the lifeblood of the sport. Yeah, the players get paid. The referees are becoming, are becoming like mini celebrities in their own right. Even the bloody people in Stockley Park behind the walls are starting to become the as Jason said, the talking point. The football should be the talking point. We talked about like the game against Tottenham, the joy. Nothing ruined that. That was brilliant. It was all about the football. It was all about the last minute goals. It was a great game for both, from both teams going at each other. But VAR becomes the talking point, and you can accept it as a fan once and you think twice. But like this, even if this was Liverpool, if it was Man United, if it was Man City last night, they'd be talking about this on the main channels for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. You look what happened to Liverpool the other week and Jurgen Klopp. Oh, let's replay the whole game. It's like on the way home last night, they're going, it's Wolves again. It's like, this channel's called Always Wolves. It's always Wolves that's getting these blooming decisions all the time. It's frustrating, Jack. What is the answer? What is the answer, mate? What is the answer? How are you feeling? Because you've had messages, you've told me, of people that have been going down the Molineux, to watch the Wolves home and away 20, 30 years who are saying, enough, I can't do this. I've had someone on my international fan deleting the Premier League app and the fantasy football, people not wanting to go, can't be bothered. They're falling out of love with the beautiful game because of incompetence.
Absolutely. I don't have the answers. I think there's two things that I think we need to do as football to get us back on the right track or sort of getting there. Number one, and I said this 2 weeks ago, Howard Webb's position is untenable. He has got to go. The situation is far, far, far worse now than when he was appointed a year ago.
Absolutely.
Every bullet point that he made when he was appointed about transparency, accountability, standards, he's failed on every single one. If he was a manager, he'd have been sacked. If he was a player, he'd be on the transfer list. He needs to go. And the second thing we need to do is we need to start calling out cheating. Tom Kearney last night cheated. Harry Wilson cheated. George Baldock 2 weeks ago cheated. Fabian Schär cheated. Wang cheated at Bournemouth to get their bloke sent off. Okay, let's call out when it's our players as well. Okay,
yeah.
It's not helping the game, is it? Cheating, players pretending that they've been caught and going over, pretending they've been hit and falling over. You know, pretending they've got a head injury to stop the game and there's a team on the counter attack. All these kind of things. Okay, this is what people are falling out of love with. You know, football is not the game of, you know, burger vans and pink papers and, you know, leather boots and you know, metal crossbars that people used to love and all that kind of stuff. It's gone so far away from that now. You know, and I think we're going to struggle to get that back. But what we've got to do is we've got to acknowledge, okay, where things have gone badly wrong. And Howard Webb is a massive, massive part of that because he came in with all these big promises like a politician. Oh, vote for me, make me the chief of PGML. I'll sort this out. I'll do this. And he has failed miserably on every single parameter you could possibly have. So he has got to go and he's got to go now. And then you've got to start calling out these players and saying, well, hang on a minute. Okay, we can blame VAR and we can blame the referee for those crap penalties last night. But Harry Wilson, if he stays on his feet, there's not a decision to make. It's the fact that he's dived. Let's call it what it is. He's dived and the referee's bought it and given him a penalty, or VAR's bought it and given him a penalty. That's why we're having these conversations, isn't it? Let's be honest about it. Players are cheating.
Absolutely. And I've got Manny on where he is because Manny literally is sitting with his Wolves top on, looking very suave and sophisticated. Hello. Oh, he's having
I'm having a pedicure. I'll put that on Twitter.
This is a first for the channel. Forget VAR. This is a first. Manny having a pedicure.
I'm going to look after those feet. Feet are valuable to me.
You put your foot in it now, ain't you?
Listen,
yeah,
as well. Manny, get on these truckers.
Yeah, everyone put your feet up. Yeah, brilliant. I've just cleared immigration.
Manny, you've just gone through. You're on your way back from India. You're at Delhi Airport.
Yeah.
So we've got you to come. We've just been talking about VAR. We've been talking about the incidents very, very passionately about how.
Yeah.
You know, enough is enough. You know, the fans that are going there. It's not fair on the club, the players, the coach, the fans.
Yeah.
You know, you would have watched the game. Obviously, you go to most games. You know, a lot of 3,000 fans going down there last night to get that again. Four decisions in one game.
Yeah.
You know, give us your thoughts.
Man, you know what? If you bought a washing machine, super duper thing, and no one knew how to use it, didn't have a clue how to use it, it would just be a pile of junk, wouldn't it? Just sitting in the corner. And that's what VAR is. They bought this system and no one's got a clue how to use it. No one knows how to interpret, how to use the rules. Nobody, when they look on slow motions, they're looking for contact. It's not a batsman's edge you're looking for. You're looking for a foul. Is it a foul or not? Not contact. So at the moment, we've got a group of people who don't know how to use the system. So that system is a pile of junk. It is literally like scrap metal. It should be put at the end of the street for the scrap metal men to collect and thrown in the bin until we get a group of competent people who know how to use it. We don't know how to use it. We employed somebody called Howard Webb, who was quite a controversial referee anyway, to make improvements. and this is his improvement. Bloody hell! If he worked for you,
Jack is basically saying he should be sacked. He should be gone.
he should 100%. You know, one apology is probably one too many. How many have we had? You know, it's like ridiculous.
Car parking space.
Yeah, I know. So you know, it's for me that's the problem. The problem is we got a system and nobody knows how to use it properly. Nobody knows what they're looking at. The referees have almost like lost confidence as well. I think some of the odd good referee has probably lost confidence as well. Is VA are going to back him up, or are they going to go against them? So for me, it needs binning. It just needs throwing in the bin until we can get a competent. And I think, you know, people saying about, oh, protesting, what does it do? But how do you get any change? How do you, you know, tell people about your displeasure? You do it by being vocal. So even if it doesn't make any change, what it brings is it brings togetherness, brings fans together. The players are calling it out, the managers are calling it out, the fans are calling it out, and it tells the authorities we're not happy. Whether they listen to us or not, okay, that's a different point, but we still can't be just, oh, well, protesting. I mean, if you had that approach, then none of the changes in history would have happened, would they?
Manny, keep doing the same thing, you get the same results, and unless we vote for this change and do something, nothing will change, and we've got to do it without.
And it works, you know. It works. You know, if you get like we've seen what Everton did after that 10-point penalty, while other clubs are getting away scot-free. So I don't blame them. You know, if they did wrong, they deserve the punishment. But I can see where they come from, and we have to be together on this. We can't just say half-hearted, go into any sort of protest and think, well, I don't really think. Well, I'm sorry, that's football without the fans is nothing. It's absolutely nothing. In this country, if you took the fans away from football, I mean, in Saudi Arabia, they have football without fans, don't they? Who watches that? Nobody around the world.
Because of how the sport's funded, they don't need fans. And that's
they don't. But what I'm saying is, Jay, our game goes worldwide because of the fans as well, not just what happens on the pitch, because of the way the British culture follow the game and the passion they have, and it's the number one sport. And you know, it's just it's nothing, and it's not fun to go, is it? You can't. I've done it in the past, gone to Brighton on a Tuesday and bloody Palace on a Monday, and you guys went to Fulham. It's stupid the amount of money people pay, and then you get, oh man, this system that just is designed to actually ruin things. I will accept the referee from now on getting things wrong. I'll accept it, and we can just lambast the referee without having to talk about a system that also gets it wrong. The olden days of the mistakes they made were better than where we are now. Let's be honest.
Manny, I just want to come in because there's someone that wants to make a comment, which I think's spot on and also quite humorous. Tommy Taylor says Manny has nailed it.
Yeah.
With his Betty Q.
There you go.
Manny, tell that young lady to bazooka that Veruca.
What do you think about VAR? No, she didn't have any comment to make.
Brilliant.
Just like the oh mate, that is quite funny. Listen, I've been sent.
He's gone off. He's pressed the wrong button, hasn't he?
See you, Dave. Right then. So now we've
got that Howard Webb?
We'll run it the way we want to.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
Oh, he's back.
I'm sorry about that.
We thought we got rid of him.
Howard Webb got to me. I was just going to say, I've been sent. Obviously, there's looking at being a demonstration, a protest of sorts. Next week, I've been sent these designs by the Old Gold pack, which I will try and share with you if I can.
Yeah.
And I need to first of all, I just need to turn it round on the thing. So just carry on talking for a second, Jason. You were coming in there.
Was I? Do you know what? In a perverse sort of way, you know when they say, I've been thinking about this, whether it's good. You know when they say, oh, you know, it evens itself out. The way Wolves have remonstrated about how we've been hard done to, and the blatant decisions that have gone against us, and how all the media have had our back. Surely there's going to be refs in the second half of this campaign who are thinking, shall I?
We're going to win every game.
That's what I mean. You know, in a perverse sort of way, it could conspire in our favour at the end. Listen,
I don't think they care. Let me just show you. I don't think they care.
Shockers,
Let me just show you this anyway. This has been.
To make sure you put the right picture on, Dave. Don't go through your gallery.
I know. Yeah. Here we go. So, oh, is that right now? Still not right. Still not right.
Get Giuseppe to do it. He's even got his phone the right way around.
No, it is. It is right. Yeah, Giuseppe. Go. Here we go. This has been sent via the. I think they've put it out on social now. But this is some of the banners that they're looking at. They're looking at putting out. If I can put it up for you, just processing now. These are the sort of leaflets they're looking at doing. This is the old goal pack. You can find them on Twitter. They're obviously a group of fans. They like to remain anonymous. They've done a great job with the flags and the banners and stuff like that. But if you can see, these are some of the flyers. Give us back our game. No apologies, no flowers, just fairness. Show VAR the red card. Anti-VAR. As we've said tonight, enough is enough. They want to be able to print as many as possible. So there is, if you go on to their
I like that. Enough is enough in gold and black, because that's what Lamina said, and that's what Gary O'Neill said, and that's what the fans will say. You know what I mean? I think it brings everything together, because Lamina put that on his post, didn't he? Enough is enough.
And you know what? The messages there are right, aren't they? If you start, like I said, you start using the word corruption, cheat, you're just losing the argument.
Do you know what? Absolutely. This is why we've got to be smart and clever with how we say it. They've tweeted, we don't normally show designs but before the day of a game, but these are the designs that they plan to print. How many they get depends on you out there. Volunteers to hand them out, people to hold them, but most importantly, donations to buy them. So if you, because obviously they've got to print them off. So if you go on to the old gold pack.co.uk/donate, it will help get as many of these printed and produced as possible, so that they can be held up at the game, I suppose. Again, I think it's against Burnley they're hoping to do that, but those are some of the designs that they're looking at doing, which I wanted you guys to see. Jack, you've heard what Manny's had to say. Do you want to come in on some of his points?
I think Manny's spot on. I think we can talk about VAR as a thing, but it's essentially it's a tool, isn't it, for the referees? And if they're not good enough to use it, then it's never going to work. And I think we can, again, talk about VAR. The standard of officials is shocking. We talked about Salisbury earlier. We've got Banks on Saturday. He's fucking awful. We've got Coots terrible, isn't he? Hooper's awful. There's so many poor referees in the Premier League. I mean, I've got the Champions League on in the background, and the referee from PSG Newcastle is the chap from Poland who did the World Cup final. He's unbelievable. He's a fantastic referee. Now, you can't tell me he'd be happy to stay in Poland.
Bring him over. Pay him.
100%. 100%. These referees in Europe are fantastic, and they would improve the game so well, because they'd make less mistakes, so you wouldn't need VAR as much, and it would only be there for example, Old Trafford on the first day of the season when the referee misses Onana clattering Kalajic. He misses it, doesn't see it, and the VAR can then step in, or should do, and say, you've missed that, go back and give the penalty. Instead, because the referees are making so many errors during the game, VAR's involved 6, 7, 8 times a game, and that's why we all hate it so much.
Absolutely.
Sorry, can I just interject there? That's a great point about the bringing in refs from abroad. They're spending that much money on VAR. Why don't they? I know Carl Henry's been going on about grassroots football, and we've all seen what's happened on social media with that. But why don't they just plough money into attracting referees to the game, into getting the best education for the referees, and to getting, i.e., the best referees from abroad? We do it with the players. We get all the best players coming to play in this country. Why can't we do that with the refs? It's the best league in the world, and we're relying on homegrown talent. No, let's go abroad.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I can hear the pedicure.
This is absolutely filing my feet away. Look, she's filing it away. There's nothing going to be left of them. It's just finished. I don't want to say.
Red card.
You need that for that walk to Newcastle, mate. You'll need it at the end.
Bloody hell. Yeah.
If you've got
No,
anything
you know what I
left,
just said? In a comparable league to the Premier League in sport is the Indian Premier League in cricket. It's the supreme league in cricket, and the Indians are mad. You know what? They don't have hardly any Indian referees. They're all from all around the world. They go and get the best umpires who can umpire a game of cricket and bring them to their league because they've got the best league in the world. So they want the best umpires in the world. And that's exactly what the Premier League should do, is they should scour the planet and say, we're going to pick a group of 12 best and we're going to pay them what they want because we've got the best league in the world. And they'll come. They'll all come. Like the Polish chap and the Italians and the Spaniards, they'll come and referee a game. And what it will do to the local ones, obviously you don't want to tread all over, British refereeing, but it'll be a pick-me-up. It'll be, like Jason says, maybe a revolution in the way they train, bring referees through. A bit like, you remember the managers who came in when the Premier League started? We had an influx of foreign managers, and then British managers had to up their game.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
yeah.
That's a really good point. Right, guys, we're going to start to close this section of the show because we're coming up to 50 minutes. Giuseppe, do you want to just give us your performance rating, man of the match, and your highlight of the day from yesterday?
Okay, I'm going to give it a 6.
A 6? Your man of the match?
And man of the match, I'm going to give it Hwang, because Hwang he's going to become a really good player for us.
Fantastic. And your highlight of the day?
When Hwang scored that penalty.
Hwang scored the penalty. Jack, over to you. If you want to finish off any other points on the VAR, I think one of the things that, and then come to that, like we were talking about, and I don't think you got a chance to say, you'd had a few people that have talked to you about stopping going.
And again, I think that it's a major part, isn't it? People just want to see us treated fairly, and people at the minute don't feel like we're getting that. I was talking to a friend of mine on the phone just before we did this, and he used the word vendetta. He thinks that the referees and the officials have got a vendetta against Wolves. Now, whether you think that's a little bit strong or not, you can't blame him for having that opinion because the evidence is staring us in the face. We had 4 decisions yesterday go against us. We've had 3 or 4 others across the season. So I understand completely why people feel like that and why they're looking and thinking, well, I'm paying £700, £800 for my season ticket. And yet in 5, 6 of those games, I know we're going to get cheated out of a result. So why would I bother paying? So I think we've got to be careful as a football society, if you like, that we don't sort of put people off actually attending games because, as Jason and Manny and Giuseppe have said, fans are the lifeblood of the game. Football without fans is nothing, is what they always say, isn't it? So we've got to be careful of that. Just going onto the game, performance rating, I'll give with Giuseppe 6 out of 10. We weren't at our best. We probably did enough for a draw overall, but not at our best. There'll be better days to come. Man of the match, Cunha. I thought he was excellent carrying the ball. And my highlight was his goal. It was a brilliant move by Semedo and then to Bellegarde, a great cross and a really difficult header, actually, because the ball's kind of almost behind him and he has to sort of generate the power and gets it right down in the corner. So, yeah, it was a great goal from a really good player.
Well said, mate. Well said. Jason?
Aren't you going to go to Manny?
Well, Manny's disappeared off.
Manny's got the same signal and phone as he has in England. For me, performance rating 6.5 out of 10. Like I said, we wasn't at our best. Obviously, that was pretty evident. It was still a reasonable performance in parts, but just not as fluid as we've been used to recently. 6.5 out of 10. Man of the match for me, Hwang. I just thought he was incredible. He's getting stronger and stronger. For me, he's one of our best players. I think we haven't even seen the best of him yet neither. So Hwang for me. 2, I'm going for 2 moments, Dave. Firstly, Kilman for being as respectful as he was and being a real man and not going down like a flipping wet lettuce. And secondly, Gary O'Neill for booting the doors off the referee's flipping changing room and going in and having a word. So that's my moment of the match.
Fantastic. Manny, yours?
You know what? I watched the first 20 minutes. They were 1-0 down. And then I fell asleep because it was 3 o'clock in the morning. And I woke up as Wang was taking the penalty to make it 2-2. So I watched all the last bit. Now, I was really livid because of the penalty decision at the end, not even knowing what had happened with Semedo. I didn't even know about that. I was already livid. And I only saw the Semedo incident afterwards on social media. So I can't performance. I don't really know how they played. Obviously, a defeat's a defeat. So I don't really want to rate that. The moment, I'll give the moment to Bellegarde for producing a cross in open play that we headed into the net. How long has it been since we had a cross like that, just floated, hung up, and then the striker buries it into the net with a decent header, even though he shouldn't really miss from there. We haven't scored goals like that, so that's quite exciting to see him put a ball in like that. Hopefully, that's something for the future. And man of the match, I don't know. I'll give it to him. I think it's like with Neto away, and he's our talisman and doing so well. We need someone to step up, and I think he has. Even though we lost against Sheffield United and we lost against Fulham, they shouldn't have been defeats really, and he's had a part to play. So I'll give it him.
Fantastic. Jason, just finally before we go, you've got your book launch on Thursday. If you want to just tell people a little bit about that.
So Cleveland Arms this Thursday, 7 p.m. We've got Neil Edwards there from the 80s, Jeff Palmer from the 70s. We've got Tony Dinning from the 90s, and we've got Jackie Gallagher as well from the 80s. So I'm interviewing 4 players, only a 10-minute interview each, 10, 15 minutes each. Obviously, the book's been launched, but you'll be able to come and buy it and see it's in the club shop, selling really well in the Wolves club shop. I think they've sold nearly all 150 copies. The same with Waterstones. They've nearly sold all theirs as well. I've sold over 500. All the costs have been met now. So there's over £3,000 being sent to the charities. These will all be gone by Christmas. I can't say that enough. They will be gone by Christmas. So getting fast, talesfromthetape.co.uk. If you can come Thursday, you can get it signed by 4 of the players in the book. Over and out. VAR.
See you there, Jason.
Thank
Good
you,
sound
Dave.
effects, that was.
Wolves.
Well done.
Yeah, nice one. Guys, thank you ever so much, Manny. We'll let you get on and finish off your pedicure and have a safe flight back to the UK, mate. And we'll hopefully
see you at Arsenal.
See you at Arsenal, See you at Arsenal.
Yeah.
And Giuseppe,
No
thank
problem.
you very much, Jack.
Okay, no problem.
Giuseppe, good
Very
debut, mate. Good debut.
No problem.
Well done, yeah, man.
See ya.
Nice one.
Well done.
I thought he was our new signing when I saw him come up. I thought we unveiled a new signing. Giuseppe Twassi.
He's got the name for it, hasn't he? He certainly has. Right, God bless you all.
Okay, cheers. See ya.
See ya.
There we go. That's the first half of the show finished. We've got the second half of the show coming up. Just whilst we're on half time, just an opportunity for me to tell you again about the fantastic NordVPN exclusive deal that we've got. It's still got their Black Friday deal on at the moment. It's an absolute cracker. It basically covers all your devices for everyone in the home, one subscription, and you get everything covered for everyone: phones, iPads, computers, TV. If you got your Fire Stick, it's really, really useful. If you're going abroad on getting some winter sun like I did, you can switch to the UK and can watch your Netflix and all of that. And there's a massive discount if you click the link below. You can also scan it on the QR code that you see come up on the screen as well. And they're also supporting Movember as well, helping any subscription that you do buy at the moment. Even though you're getting the savings, the discount goes to helping that cause as well. And just before we get on to the second half, my friends from FOCO, you've got your Christmas crackers and your Christmas baubles that are here. These are, I think they've still got the Black Friday offers on at the moment on those. So imagine these at your Christmas table, or on your Christmas tree. The link's in the description below. There's loads of Wolves products. And if you use Always Wolves 15, you're going to get a discount. And make sure you stay tuned because we've done a VAR t-shirt and we're launching that one tonight. So we're going to get on to the second half of the show. And I'm very, very pleased to be joined by cheerful Chris himself, who's a board member of the Wolves 1877 Trust. He's managed to move his diary around for us tonight to be available. How you doing, Chris?
Yeah, I'm good despite football, Dave. I think is the way to sum it up.
Fantastic. Well, glad. Thank you for joining us again tonight, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in person on Thursday at Jason's do. We have also got coming back to the show, charismatic Craig in his mansion. He's been playing on his piano in the background again.
I've done a song for you, Dave. I've done a song about VAR.
You've done a song about
VAR?
Yes,
Can
we hear
it? In a minute. Soon as
we've got
our old friends on, Sooty's on here. I want to see him smile, you see.
Yeah, Merv's also said, smash a like, guys. We've got, we've had nearly 200 of you on live. So please, everyone, smash a like. Let YouTube know that you're enjoying it and you like the content. We've got 2 debutants tonight.
Ooh,
We've got AJ that's making his full debut. And look, he's got guitars in the background, mate.
I can't play them very well, Dave.
Yeah, why have you got the guitars? That looks really cool.
Yeah, that's yeah. Well, I won't tell you. It was my wife's idea to make this look pretty, but it's just my music room, really.
I like it, mate.
So,
You're very musical.
I songwrite. Yeah, I'm not the best musician in the world, but I just like writing songs. So that's what I do. Yeah,
mate, that's really.
But I haven't written one about 5.
You'll love my song, AJ. You'll love it.
We've got a new song tonight, so you can be a judge on that.
Yeah, we could do an Always Wolves band here because I play guitar as well. So
I can play the drums.
Yeah, we could maybe get some at penned and do an anti-VAR song that they can play at the
Montavani meets Chubby Brown.
Oh, yeah, we've got something going here.
Where we've got later on.
We've also got Richard making his debut. Hi, Richard.
Hi, Dave. How you doing, bud?
Absolutely great. Thank you. I mean, for you to be moved to come on, because I know that you engage quite a lot in the chats, and also, on the lives and stuff, but for you to be moved to want to come on and talk, it must be a subject that you're quite passionate about.
Anger comes to mind more than passion.
Anger. You kind of come across in the same vein as Sooty in that.
Yeah, you're in the right band then here.
You're in the right band. What we need to come up with a band name. If you've got idea for a band name for our band, then we want to hear it because we could be having something could be going here. Last but not least, we have, of course, Sooty.
Oh, yeah, Soot boy. How you going, mate?
Yeah, you Sooty.
Good evening, people.
What are you sporting this evening, sir?
Oh, it's just an old one, Dave.
What's the brand?
Sergio.
Yeah, he loves his. He loves things. Mate, first of all, Sooty, it was absolutely fantastic seeing you in the stadium before the game. If you watch the match vlog, you will see Sooty with his 3-1 score prediction, which also matched my score prediction. And I was feeling quite positive before the game, Sooty. But after the game, you obviously, I couldn't find you, and you probably said it was a good thing because you were very, very angry. And on the way back, the dashboard of your vehicle was taking a battering.
I'm fed up of them, Dave, to be honest. I'm just sick and tired of inept, useless, incompetent, shambolic, you name it, Dave. They are it. Now, as you know, look, you can say all you want about VAR, mate. It ain't going to go away. They are not going to get rid of VAR. It's going to stay. I was at Qatar World Cup this time last year. It was incredibly run. No decision took any longer than 20 seconds. There is not a problem with VAR here. The problem is we seem to have got the worst caliber of referee and official in world football. And there lies your problem. It's like it's like having a learner driver in the Red Bull Formula One car trying to drive it round a track in reverse. They are, excuse my language here, Dave, fucking useless.
Onto my song.
Well, we seem to have lost Richard because Richard was here.
It's a bad language.
We seem to have lost Richard because I don't know whether he's dropped off and he'll be back, hopefully back in a minute. But yeah, well, whilst we're on this with this band group, so we're still waiting. VAR, someone's put the VAR humbugs.
The angry bar stewards, Dave.
Angry VAR stewards.
Angry VAR stewards. Yeah, we're still waiting for a few more names. Tuba, Craig, Charismatic.
Here I go.
You've been writing a ditty on your piano. Are you gonna sing it to us?
Yeah, I am.
This is a world first, guys. A world first.
I've nicked part of it from a very old song, which if you know the song, but it fits perfectly. I've tried, and I've tried from afar. I've cried, but I hate VAR. I've pressed, I've pushed, I've yelled, I've begged in hopes of some success. But the inevitable fact is that it never will impress. I've no more facts to give. My facts have runneth dry. I've tried to go fact shopping, but there's no facts left to buy. I've no more facts to give, though more facts I've tried to get. I'm over my fact budget, and now I'm in fecking debt. There's nothing wrong with VAR. It's a smashing piece of kit. The problem is, as all fans know, the refs are thick of shit. I've no more facts to give. My facts have runneth dry. I've tried to go fact shopping, but there's no facts left to buy. I've no more facts to give. No more facts I've tried to get. I'm over my fact budgets now, and I'm in fecking debt. Ta-da!
Well, we're clapping, but AJ is. I don't know whether AJ is
he's a
songwriter.
He's a songwriter, though, isn't he? So,
AJ, give us your take on that.
I'd like a bit more piano in it, actually. To be honest with you.
Well, Max Hastings has.
But I get the the message. Yeah.
We've got Richard back anyway. Thank goodness for that. We'll do another thing. But Max Hastings reckons that it's going to be the Christmas number one.
Apologies, guys. My 6-year-old decided to turn the Wi-Fi off.
Oh, nice.
Oh, well.
Has she heard Craig sing before?
Mate, that was fantastic, mate. Thank you for that. And maybe we'll get another ditty to leave us thinking. Oh, this is a good name as well. Hold on. Pamela Wells, overrated. I quite like that. That could be a good name for the group as well. Get a funky bass line on that and we're sorted. Well, I know Nova Bloom, I don't know if they're watching, but if Nova Bloom are watching, do you reckon that with guys that we can get together and we can put this song together? Because I reckon we'd try for the Christmas number one. Manny's rolling over in Delhi Airport whilst he's having his pedicure. So it's entertainment. I'll tell you what, no matter what, this channel gives you entertainment for definite. Right then, AJ, let's kick off with you.
Yeah.
Obviously, you watched the game yesterday. You've been moved a bit like Richard. Obviously, you're part of our members group, which is fantastic. And I really appreciate the support you guys give us as well. And if you want to be a member, the link's in the thing below. But you've been moved for the first time to make your debut on the channel. What's moved you to do it, mate?
For me, I was really angry last night. Really angry. In fact, when they gave the penalty, the second penalty, I just unplugged my iPad and came upstairs and just left my wife to it because she seen me come home angry after Wolves games. But last night, I think it's the inevitability of it all. I've scribbled loads of notes here, but what I've written here is how can I mean, for me, what are people seeing that are starting to question my judgment on what's happening. What am I seeing? Am I missing something? Me, that's the problem. That was the first thing I wanted to say. But just an example, when Wang got that penalty for us, they went all the way back to Sarr kicking the ball out. And for me, that just tells me everything. That tells you everything you need to know. They are looking. What is the agenda? I mean, Jack mentioned the word vendetta, and the first two words I wrote down on my pad here are agenda stroke vendetta. I'm trying to work out, why is it always Wolves? And I think that's the elephant in the room. We talk about VAR, but I don't think it's VAR at all. I think it's something far deeper than VAR. VAR is the mechanism for them, whoever they are, to get their punishment back to Wolves. Does it go back to Nuno when he criticised Anthony Taylor? Does it go back that far? Because it's not just this season, it's everything that's happened as well last season. I've only written 2 or 3 down here, but Real at Newcastle, what a joke that was. And the Liverpool Cup game and Neto's nail being offside. You know, they're just 3 that scribbled down just before.
Then you look at the Forest penalty in the cup where that came off as well. You know?
Yeah.
You know, then you look at Lamina being the 3rd person to walk up to the ref that they sent him off. Never happened again to anyone else. That's another one. No. And this is last year. And then it's continued this year. And they say it evens itself out, but it isn't, is it?
There is a bias towards that. We know there's a bias towards the top, the big 6. We know that, don't we? We know it. We see it week in, week out. I've written down here the yellow cards last night for Lamina and Gomez. What a great result for the top 6. That's what's that done to help Arsenal beat us at the weekend? They're taking out Lamina and Gomez. Okay, I think Gomez probably
two main.
I get that, but Lamina, he was close to my man of the match last night, actually. But he is out now, and that was a really tenuous yellow card as far as I'm concerned. I've got to be careful what I say here, because I'm just going to leave it at agenda and vendetta, because
mate, just be honest and open, with what you're saying, obviously, just how you feel.
Okay, I mean, I'm in the North Bank, and the guy I've been with guys for years around there, and there's a guy behind me who's an ex-school teacher, and about 2 or 3 into about a 2nd or 3rd home game this season, I said to him, look, can't you see what's happening? Can you not see that the home team is the one that's supposed to get the decisions? That's why home teams win so much, is because they are swayed by the crowd and the atmosphere and the fact that, but we never get those. It still goes to the opposition team. I'm sure a lot of those decisions do. And I said to him, look, and I did use the word corruption. I used the C word, and I'm not sure it's as strong as corruption, but there's a definite bias against Wolves. And he said, no, that can't be right. And in 4 or 5 games, he goes home and away, travels from Chesterfield to the Molineux every home game. And he can see it now.
I think everyone's starting to come around to that.
They are. I mean, look, when you've got Villa fans defending you on Radio WM tonight, and so and you've got I don't know, Fulham fans on BBC website last night saying this is crazy. Why are Wolves getting all these decisions?
Mate, I was listening last night on the way back in the game. Sutty, you were probably listening to the radio the same, and there was fans from other clubs that were coming up, and they were angry. They said they've got no dog in the fight, and they said, like, it's Wolves again. And like I don't know whether it was Kundi or someone was talking. It's like 4 incidents or someone came on 4 VAR incidents in one game. Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 that Fulham should have had 2 players sent off, which they've admitted to.
Absolutely. I mean, you've got referees, Dave, that are on a retainer of £36,000 a year, and then I believe they get £1,500 per game. Linesman gets $850 a game, and the retainer. Why are we persevering with such poor officials? And last night I come home from that game. I put on our group chat page. I don't know how much more I can do with this because it cost me a lot of money, Dave.
Yeah.
That's a 300 quid day for me yesterday, Dave. Loss of earnings, tickets, diesel, food. The next day's a write-off virtually because you don't get into 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. These referees, they can't surely go home and have a good night's sleep after performance like that. They are so inept. And then you've got Mr. Atwell on VAR, who I'm absolutely convinced he's never forgot when he put us down to 9 men in the championship against Borough, and we still won 2-1 on a Friday night.
Sace was planked.
I don't think he can really almost forgive us for that, because if you remember back in the championship days, nobody liked us, Dave, because they all thought we were cheating the system by getting these players in. But like most good sides, we'd found out a little sort of loophole in the system where we could bring quality players in without actually paying for them. And several clubs, so-called big clubs, Villa, Derby, they all complained about us.
The chairman of Leeds, and then he did exactly the same thing the following year.
Yeah, he doesn't like us, Dave. Now, to me, it's not rocket science. You got Danny Murphy on the radio last night, an ex-Fulham player who he's just incensed by what's happened to Wolves last night. And why aren't these players? I mean, let's think about this now. 36,000, if they ref every weekend, that's another 18 at 1,500. So they're on about 60k a year, roughly, right?
Yeah.
Why aren't we fast tracking ex-players through a system that actually know what football's about, Dave, and know the little tricks of the trade and what have you, and who aren't going to be intimidated by little Joe sat behind the VAR screen who's never kicked a ball before? They're going to go and look at a screen and go, no way, that's not a penalty. Now, we've got to get ex-players in on this some way or another, because there's nothing wrong with VAR, Dave. There's absolutely nothing wrong. It's not going to go. You can wear all the T-shirts you like. It costs £32,000 per game per home team. They've got all these cameras, everything in. It works all over the world.
Yeah.
But they've got proper officials, Dave. The World Cup, Dave, was incredible for VAR.
Oh, yeah, it was.
20 seconds, bosh. Decision. Referees going to the screen, they were said, go and have a look at it. No, I'm sticking with my on-field decision, because they've got balls, Dave. They don't look after their mates. If you've made it, the game is so fast over here, they are going to make mistakes in game time. I can accept that. That's normal. But if they've made a mistake, that's when they should be going to the screen to say, or if they couldn't see it, they should be mic'd up and say, did something happen there? Because I never had a good view of that, whatever.
100% right.
But they shouldn't be going back to the goalkeeper to look for things that might have happened. If that referee hasn't seen it on the pitch, they shouldn't be dragging him back for something that's so petty. I mean, and like Jack said earlier, we've got a game now that's not full of decent, honest men, Dave. We've got a game that's basically full of cheats, because the rewards are so big and the losses are so big as well. So if you get relegated, your wages go down. Now, if Kilman had gone down last night, red card. Good on the kid. I don't want him going down, Dave.
No, absolutely.
I want him standing there.
Yeah.
I want him standing there like the big lump he is and laughing at that lad, saying, yeah, you do that again, I'm going to absolutely snap you in two. I don't want my players playing like that. I don't care if they don't go down to 9 men. I'm proud of that lad for last night. I really am.
I think he's sooty, and so am I. And I think every Wolves fan can be, because he didn't go down like a bag of spuds. The fact is, He doesn't need to be going down like a bag of spuds. VAR should have seen that. It's like, as Gary O'Neill said, like it was a soft headbutt. It was an headbutt. It's like, and as he said, it's teaching his kid and other kids that it's okay to headbutt someone as long as you do it softly.
If
Richard,
I come up to you outside mauling you, Dave, and I headbutt you, and there's a policeman stood there, it matters not whether I'm basically blowing at you. If I'm getting arrested, right? I get arrested for that. It's not. Don't arrest me. I only did it softly.
I know.
Come on.
And that's the thing. You've got to give Kilman credit, but the VAR should have done its job. Richard, we're going to come to you. You've been waiting patiently. Have your say. What do you want to say about everything?
Where do I start? Like Sutty just said, it's not VAR that is the problem. Like you said, all over the world, it works perfectly. But in the Premier League, apparently the best league in the world, we've got the best league in the world, we've got the best teams in the world. We're meant to have, apparently, according to some of the newspapers, some of the best officials in the world as well. But I think I'm going to call bullshit on that one. It works. It's meant to work, but it fucking doesn't work. Excuse my French. It's after 10 o'clock. It doesn't work. And it's not working for a simple reason. Because we've got monkeys running it.
Correct.
100%.
Right?
Absolutely.
They are monkeys. And it's as simple as that. I've got a 6-year-old son, right, Finley. He's autistic, right? He watches the football with me every week. Every week. He's 6. He sat there. We were watching the footy last night. I let him stay up late. Sat there last night and he goes, "That wasn't a penalty, Daddy. He didn't touch him." I'm like, "I know that, son." He goes, "So why has he put the ball on the spot then?" He's 6. He's 6, guys. And Stuart Atwell sat at Stradley Park and you're going, "That's a penalty." I'm sorry, but it's all wrong. And I hate to say the word corruption, but it is. They have not got an absolute Scooby-Doo what they're doing. And the 2 red cards as well. Where do you start with them?
Well, exactly. I mean, I've got this list here. Thank you that Emma did. It's a list, 2-page list. Match week 1, Luton. Penalty awarded for Joe Gomez, apparent handball.
Came off his leg first.
Described it as absolutely terrible. Match week 1, United. Very first game of the season. Potential penalty on Onana. Onana was more than lucky not to give away a last-minute penalty. Even the Devils legend Gary Neville agreed it should have been.
Could have quite easily caused serious injury to Kalajdzic.
Page 2, Newcastle match week 10. Penalty awarded after Wang Hee-chan was deemed to foul Fabio. Referee Anthony Taylor gave the spot kit. VAR didn't intervene when and if it did, it would have been overturned. Taylor's decision. We agree with the Wolves boss. Run call. Match week 11, Sheffield United. Potential penalty for the Blades after a handball by Mario Lemina. Penalty awarded for a foul by Silva on George Baldock. Referee Rob Jones didn't give the penalty for the handball, but they were both in agreement that the penalty that led to the winning goal. The first decision was spot on, but the penalty was awarded again very soft. One of 2 decisions can be marked as correct. And then yesterday, penalty awarded to Fulham for a foul by Nelson Semedo and Tom Carney. Tim Ream escapes a second yellow card for a foul on Wang Hee-chan in the area. Carlos Vinicius is only booked for a head puck on Max Gilman. Fulham awarded second penalty as Joe Gomez is just to brought down Harry Wilson. I mean, you go on, and then, like you say, you go on to last year as well. It's becoming
Nick Pope handball against Newcastle when we played Newcastle outside the area.
It goes back to last year. Chris, I mean, you're with the trust. What discussions are going on within the trust about this? What can the trust do?
Before I talk about trust, I just want to give my view on the VAR thing. So the problem we've got with VAR is not the VAR system. It's a process of of review and that sort of thing. The problem is we've got people doing it who don't have the correct level of game experience, playing experience, and situational awareness. These penalties, Fabio, Wang, Gomez, and the two yesterday, where players are running across you at speed, you're trying to clear the ball, and they're coming across you, and you make a touch with them. When I played football, they would never have been penalties. The one yesterday with Wilson, he took the ball so far over to the corner of the pitch with his knock, he was never going to get the ball. So it's people that don't understand the game that are forensically looking for reasons that somebody might have got it wrong. And the problem is, until you get people in there that understand how the game's played, it's a contact sport. People are going to touch legs and toes and that sort of stuff. You're never going to get a proper decision out of VAR because the people just haven't got the knowledge. And so my view is it's not fit for purpose in its current guise, and it's not the process, it's the content of the individuals that are involved in it. The cheating thing, I've got to disagree with my Sergio Tacchini wearing friend below me. When I played football, I cheated all the time. I used to elbow the centre forwards, the wingers. I used to try and do all sorts of stuff in the old days. We've always cheated in football. We've always tried to do things that other people couldn't see. You know, I agree with the Max. He needs to stand up and be strong, but you've always tried to get an advantage. I'd jump up on a player because I'm only short in a header, and I'd have my elbow in the back of his neck so he couldn't get up. It's just tricks of the trade and things you do to gain an advantage. That it's always been there. But I just think we're trying to make it too sterile and pure. You know, it's a very old game with very old rules, and we're trying to modernise it, and we're taking away the things that make us all love football. I love football, but I am falling out of love with it. I didn't watch a match yesterday. I was doing something with business, and I looked at my phone twice. I really didn't, you know. I'm a bit like Keith. It's starting to wear thin on me.
Wear thin. On the trust, then.
Okay, so the trust. I mean, obviously, we've got to do something about VAR. The lads early on were right. We don't want to be using the word corrupt and anything inflammatory like that. We've got to do it respectfully. Gary O'Neill's done it really respectfully. We need to follow his lead. The old gold pack thing is something we should all get behind. The trust of donated some a reasonable amount of money to the old gold pack to start that process off, so that we can do that sensible protesting, as I would call it. And I'd urge everybody that can spare a few bob to follow him on social media. Maybe you can send them a bit so that we can get that message across. Everton fans are holding up corrupt, but let's do it a little bit more peacefully. I think not.
I don't think it's a matter of. I think peacefully. I think the funny thing, the thing that makes me laugh, is Everton. They have cheated.
Of course
they've cheated. They've got caught with their hand in the pot, and they've got the penalty. And like we've sat here many times and had very heated arguments about what the club are doing over the summer in terms of spending the money and selling players and FFP and all of that. And we've gone through this. We're not going to go over it again. But like we said, they're going to either look stupid if they just give them a fine, or it's going to be, if they hadn't done it, then they would be called accountable for being incompetent in not protecting the club's interests. But the funny thing is, the Everton fans are moaning about a 10-point bloody deduction because they've had their hands caught in the pot. And we've had 7 to 9 points taken off us, and we've still gotten 2/3 of the season, and no one gives a thing. It's like we've had points deduction because we should be on at least 22 points. We should be, in the top 7 with all of these things that have gone. But no, it's like, why is it that we keep getting these? It's like we've still got 2/3 of the season to go. God knows how many points would have been taken off us by the end of the season. So despite of it, and again, despite last season, we managed to stay up. And despite everything that's happened, we're still on 15 points. We should be on more. Craig.
Dave, yeah. If you turn this on its head, if the FA and PGMOL were looking at this from another angle, they'd be looking at match fixing, because we've had so many dodgy decisions. They would say that that's against the laws of the decisions on average. So they would start to look at hang on, there's something strange going on here because of match fixing. I'm that wrapped off with it now, because this group of people who are in charge of the game, the FA and the PGMOL, should be called the KGB, because it's a silent affair. They never have to answer to anybody at all. They don't have to explain themselves. 7 points at this stage of the season, and we're not talking ifs, buts, maybes here. This is 7 definite points that have been retrospectively said, we've got this wrong. 7 points is a huge amount, and Gone made that point last night beautifully. Managers should have 2 calls per half. They should be able to challenge 2 calls per half. This would stop it, and they have to go to the monitor with the referee. That should be right. Wrong decisions in the box should mean a red card for that official, and he should be banned from officiating for the next 3 weeks. If he gets another red card after that, he sits on a panel, and that should be extended to 5 weeks. We'd
have no refs, Craig. We'd have no Craig.
Yeah,
I
don't care though. The only way that we're going to sort this is if people start to be made accountable. End of story.
Craig.
Dave, sorry, can I just come in here?
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I want to pick up on something Craig said, and you said. I was the one that's coming after you. And that is, the Premier League is the richest league in the world with the most money sloshing around in it.
Well, now, you can argue that Saudi Arabia is, but that don't really count, you know.
Yeah. And ironically, Ronaldo actually tried to overturn his own penalty, didn't he, yesterday? What, you know, the irony of that. But it's the richest league in the world with money sloshing over it. There's no way that there isn't betting syndicates and influences and money swapping. That has to be the case, like it was in cricket. And you know, if it happens in cricket, it's got to happen in football in this country, in the richest league. And about match fixing, which is what Craig alluded to, I'd written down Sheffield, Luton, United and Fulham. 4 games where the result was directly changed, not just a goal being scored. Yeah, you're right. The result was completely massaged because it was in the last minutes of the game, the last 2 or 3 minutes of a game. What could be more perfect than people betting on Sheffield United getting their first win than giving them a penalty that wasn't a player offside as well, and it wasn't a corner that preceded that penalty. I think it was. Now, if that is the case, as far as I'm concerned, there's no doubt in my mind. Let's not call it the C word. I'm going to call it massaging results. And there are betting syndicates that are putting money onto these games. And somehow, I'm not saying that the refs are taking bungs, but I think there's some pressure being put on somewhere for it to happen. And the only thing that makes me think it can't be real is the fact they can't be stupid enough to pick on Wolves every time, can they?
Yeah, I think they can. I think they can be stupid.
Thank you. That's all.
AJ, you made a really, really good point when you first spoke. You said you sit there. I watched football for 60 years, and I know the game, and I've played it. I'm looking now and thinking, do I know what I'm seeing? You made that point, because I am sitting there and thinking, what have they seen that I've not seen, or what am I seeing that they're not seeing? How can you be so stupid? How can you be so forensic that you're actually losing the whole point, which is VAR is there to overturn clear and obvious errors. They are not there to draw lines 1 millimeter thick. If you can't tell a bloke he's offside by looking at a screen and seeing that with your own eyes, don't draw bloody lines. If you can't tell by your eyes, they're not offside. End of story. Everything's just overcomplicated. We've got numpties in the box, absolute numpties. But what have we done? Because I mean, these decisions, 7 points at this stage of the season is absolutely appalling.
And we're only 13 games in. I would have just
go on, mate. You go first,
Richard.
I wanted to just pick up on something that is Craig.
Yeah, charismatic.
One of the they're allowed to challenge 2 decisions per half.
Yeah,
they actually do that in the American football.
No, they do.
Yeah, and it works well.
I know.
And it does work so well. Another thing as well, was it AJ or Sutty said someone said about I've lost my train of thought now. Never mind. But yeah, challenging 2 halves, yeah, definitely. That's a good way forward.
Sutty?
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people seem to be steering away from the word, but I'll say it, Dave. They are fucking corrupt. I don't care what anybody says. They can come and knock on my door, do me for slander. I don't care, because Mark Halsey, who was a Premier League referee, actually went on record, Dave, and said he was told in certain games how many corners to give, how many goal kicks to give. That is on record. Now, in any elite sport, especially one that's awash with lots of money, there will be corruption. It's as simple as that. Boxing, football, horse racing, snooker, anything, Dave. There is mass corruption within professional sport, and any of these officials, Dave, could be bought at any time. I wouldn't know about it, and neither would you, and neither would any of these lads on here. But I know for fact that there are people out there that put lots of spot bets on, Dave, and they will wait for referees to come and tell them exactly what they've put on, and they will offer them money. Now, that referee can turn it down, but I'm telling you now, that happens in every single sport. Why do you think professional boxers don't like boxing in Germany? I'll tell you why, Dave, because the foreign boxers that box in Germany inevitably lose even if they win. And that's why, Dave, because it's so corrupt. Anybody
you've got Chris, who's obviously spent a lot of time in Germany above you. He's nodding. Anybody
that doesn't think that, and is frightened to use the word corruption within sport, well, you're deluded, because there is cheating and corruption in every level of sport, and there always will be, because of the vast amounts of money to be made from it. Absolutely huge amounts, and it will never go away. And I'm telling you now, come and knock on my door, because they are fucking corrupt, Dave.
Gents,
thanks for that.
Right,
Dave,
can I just make one really, really quick point? How long did it take you to say that penalty in that last minute of that game last night was not a penalty? It took me 2 seconds.
10 tops.
Well, from my point of view, I'm at the opposite end of the stadium, obviously, so I couldn't really see it, and we don't get the replays. But if you're watching it on the TV, you probably was able to make a decision.
Clear. Absolutely clear.
Thing is with those type of penalties, when you start swinging your leg, the first one as well, when you start swinging your leg, you kick a ball, if somebody comes in the way or gets in between you and the ball, you can't stop your leg going. You know, Semedo, he swung the ball. Once he's hit the ball, he can't stop his foot carrying on because that's motion. That's how so these type of penalties, they're just not penalties. They're just people that don't understand the game.
Well said.
Correct.
Craig, I want to come back onto your point. Obviously, you've come up with some radical ideas there. I think some of these have been mooted about the refs getting red cards and all of that. I mean, obviously, my job's to challenge and debate and put things. I mean, obviously, when players play in fear, you've seen our teams and other teams when they're frightened to make the forward pass because they play the safe pass all the time. You know, you don't get the performances. Maybe as much as I agree with your sentiment, you know, if referees are going to get red cards and stuff because they've made a wrong decision, they might make more wrong decisions because they're frightened to make the right decision potentially. And the other thing that I've come back onto, which I think's got some mileage actually, is the review system. We have VAR. They use it in cricket. They use it, I think, a bit in rugby. They use it in the, like you say, in the NFL. I wouldn't like to see a team given 2 reviews a half. Personally, I think maybe 1 review would be suffice. That they could, if they really think, because you see the managers look at the screens by the thing and they're screaming. If they had the option of using 1 review a match or something like that they could play that card and play that review, such as the last minute last night or the Semedo penalty and stuff like that. The referee, although VAR haven't sent them back to the screen for the first thing, the referee has said to Gary O'Neill that he would have changed the decision when he looked at it back. Because, and I also think there's some mileage in the referee who's on field that's giving a decision or waving a penalty away, talking to the VAR room and going, I wasn't sure about that. Can you confirm my decision? Rather than waiting for the VAR to come in and then hold and intervene. There's got to be a better way of doing it. Sutty, you were there.
Dave, can I just say, what is the point? I'm going to use bad language now because I'm so wound up now. What is the point in sending a set of imagery to those fuckwits at Stockley Park to look at again when they can't make the decision right in the first place? There's no point having a review because it's them fucking read.
I'm not on about VAR. I'm on about the on-field referee re-looking at it.
Why shouldn't
the on-field referee to
there's no credibility there with them? That's the problem. That's why you've got to go back to basics and you've got to give managers reviews. These officials have no longer got any credibility at all.
Well, you can't have managers refereeing the game. But I agree, Craig. I think what Chris is thinking is like, oh, we'll send it back to the VAR. I'm not about to send it back to to Stockley Park. I'm on about Gary O'Neill saying, like saying to the the VAR haven't said, but I want you to look at that again from the screen and looking at what I'm seeing and tell me that that's still a penalty. So the on-field referee still makes the decision. But again, it slows the game down and stuff like that. Sutty, I want to come back to you quickly because you were there at the World Cup. They had automated offsides. They had the different images how they showed it. The referees, what is the difference? I mean, there's hardly any incidents. Okay, the ball going out incident. There was a couple of incidents. But like we had the whole World Cup, 64 games, and VAR was hardly an issue in the whole tournament. Was it? What's the difference?
The personnel, Dave.
Exactly.
Monkeys.
No. So why did the World Cup run so well with hardly anyone talking about VAR? And every single weekend, we've got 2 or 3 incidents in this country. It comes down to the people that are running it. Howard Webb has come in to change it. You know, if he was a manager or in any other business, he'd be off. It's got worse. Something, you know, they've got to. They've got this red card, exactly.
Howard Webb should go. Pierre Luigi Cellina should come in.
I think he's lost. I think Howard Webb's come in and he's lost credibility because you can't keep saying sorry all the bloody time. And people, it's like the boy that called Wolf every time. It's like you start to think, well, you don't mean it because nothing's changed. And Gary O'Neill even said himself yesterday he's for VAR. I'm not against VAR. I like VAR. I think it could be used right, but it's not being implemented correctly. And even Gary O'Neill said yesterday he's always been pro VAR, and because of what's happening, he's starting to think no. And people are going.
David, the analogy Sutty gave with the Formula One car is really good, and it's like if I go into my own workplace, it's like me getting a young mechanic and giving him a top of the range machine, not training him, not telling him how to use it, and no knowledge how to use it, and say, "There, I'll go and do some work on that engine." I'm going to get a lump of broken metal at the end of it because he doesn't know what to do, and this is what I think is the problem with these. I've lost it with him. I follow 3 referees on Twitter. Mark Colsey that Keith mentioned. Roger Gifford, remember him? He comes on Twitter. And the best one of them all is Keith Hackett. And you should see what them 3 guys have been saying about these referees in the last week. And Keith Hackett ran the PGMO. We spoke earlier about trying to get him on tonight because he does come on these sort of shows. He was basically saying they all need to go. He read out 3 of them that are in the back room, and he said one of them was John Moss. Atwell was mentioned. There's 3 of them, and he said until these idiots are there have gone, this is never going to work. That's a former head of the PGML. It's really interesting. I'd urge anybody to follow him just to see, because I do it for my own sanity, because I watch these games now, as Keith said, and thinking, what the hell are they doing? Why is this being given? I think I understand why it's being given now. 1, because they don't know what they're doing, and 2, they're just too lucky forensically. But it's got to change.
Last night created a major concern, didn't it, with the use of VAR?
Yeah.
The first penalty against us, he played the ball. Semedo played the ball, and VAR did not refer the ref to the screen.
Who, after the match, said had he been referred?
No. VAR didn't refer the ref back to the screen.
But
Right.
What I'm saying is, Craig, the ref said to Gary after the match, which they had
to make that point, Dave. Right? Yeah. He didn't refer him back to the screen.
Didn't follow process.
On the last-minute penalty, when the ref didn't give a penalty,
they did.
It was the slightest of touches, and he did refer it back. So what you've got there is you've got an inconsistent use of this technology. One where he played the ball, so there was more reason for him to refer him back to the screen, and he didn't. And the second one where there was less obvious error as such, and he did refer him to the screen. That is a pure Stockley Park issue. That's not down to the ref who's got
to make. Mate. Totally agree. And I made this point earlier. Isn't it ironic that one didn't get referred, and it went because it was going to overturn a penalty that was given to Fulham, and then the last coming up to the plus 4 minutes, the penalty that was given at the end that the referee didn't get. Strangely enough, he got sent to the screen.
Oh, absolutely.
And they wonder why people think it's corruption.
Exactly.
Can I ask a couple of questions?
Richard, you want to come in there? Yeah.
Yeah. First of all, Sutty made a brilliant point earlier. But who thinks it would be a good idea that the minute the ref gives a penalty, he automatically goes to the screen and double checks it? Problem solved. That's how I'd do it. If I was a ref, I'd give a penalty. Right, I'm going to quickly double check that. Job done. No arguing then, is there?
No, I guess it depends on if it's a clear and obvious Triff, but it comes back to clear and obvious. If it's like the 2 penalties like last night, I guess the second penalty, he would have given the penalty, but he waved it on. But then he would have still had to go stop play to go and have a look and check, and then go, yeah, it's a penalty or it's not. So I would think in those fine decisions that the ref's going to be if it was that system, he would give the penalty every time because he got the backup for looking at it rather than waving play on. I guess that would be the argument.
The caveat to it, yeah. But another thing I wanted to quickly mention as well, I believe it was Sutty or someone mentioned about other countries' refs being spot on with at the World Cup and big competitions. How many British Premier League referees actually go to these competitions? Because I think when I watched the World Cup, I saw 2. Other countries had 4, 5, 6, 7 referees representing in big competitions, and we have 2, maybe 1 push.
I'm not sure about that. I think every country or every association has, because they've got so many.
Dave, I think they have an allocation. Whether they're picked to referee a match or not is another matter.
Yeah. They have an allocation. Anyway, guys, we've literally killed this VAR thing. I think it rumbles on. You know, we'll see what happens at Arsenal. I mean, the fact is, you know, getting back to the game, and I'll get all your.
Dave, I'm really sorry. Can I just say one thing about these penalties? Is that anybody out of 6 of us here, I don't know whether you do a poll on this, by the way, with the people that listen in, but is there anybody who watched that game, no, Chris missed most of it, one of you missed one, who seriously thought that those weren't going to be given as penalties, regardless of how we viewed them? As soon as it went to VAR, I knew it was a penalty. They may as well not bother with Stockley Park because we know they're going to give it.
Yeah. I 100%, and like again, it leave your thoughts in the chat. I think the answer to the question is everyone knew it was going to get given a second he was going over there.
Both penalties. As soon as it went to VAR, we knew that they were going to be given one. We knew
until a referee goes to the screen, until a referee goes to the screen and looks at that screen like they did at the World Cup and says, "No, that is not a penalty." In my view, that is not a penalty. Until the on-field referee does it, nobody will do it. It needs that one ref to do it, and it will start a tidal wave. They'll all start sticking to their guns.
That's what I kind of meant with Sutton.
Yeah, your point's valid, Richard.
They're frightened of breaking this so-called referees' code of sticking together. One of them's got to show some bollocks, Dave, unfortunately.
100% agree. Right, guys, just have a think for a second about your man of the match performance rating, highlight, and anything else you want to say about the game. Just before you go on, we have done a new T-shirt for a bit of fun. We haven't put any word corrupt on it, but I do want to show it you. And the link, if you want to get one, I'm getting one because I think it's pretty good. Where has it gone? I will show you and put it up for you. Here it is. That's what we've put. We've put a nice little T-shirt. Emma's done that today, which I think is really cool. It's a bit like the thingy repeat, but we've done VAR, error, apology, repeat, because that's basically the rolling thing that happens with Wolves. If you want to get that, we've done it at cost as well. I think it's 20 quid for the T-shirt. You can also get a mug or a phone case. The link is in the description below. You can order that and it'll get sent to you wherever you are in the world. We'd love to see a few people wearing them. I think it's pretty cool. VAR, error, apology, receipt. As I say, the link is in the description below. Mine's already been ordered, so I'm going to be wearing that soon.
What size do they go up to, Dave?
Pardon?
What size do they go up to?
Emma, what size do they go up to? Is it triple XL? She's going to have a look and come back to you. We'll come back to you on that. 4XL.
I'm ordering one then.
5XL, it goes all the way up to.
Oh, wait, I'm ordering one. I'm a 4.
Yes, so it goes up to 5XL. Chris, we'll start with you. I know you didn't watch all the game, but you've probably watched it back all since then. So any performance rating or comments or highlights that you want to make on that before we go around?
I have some puzzling. I mean, I thought by and large from what I saw, they played okay. There's some good efforts in there. I don't understand what's happening with Hugo Bueno. I don't know why he isn't coming on and Dockett is coming on and playing left back. or Doherty, whatever way you say it.
Doherty.
Our friend's going to be
told off by Dinny, won't we?
Dinny, he'll be after me. I don't understand why Bueno isn't coming on. It's puzzling me.
Sarabia is another one. Why he didn't come on last night as well? That was interesting.
Yeah, you'd have thought he'd have brought him on. I've got my doubts about Santi Bueno. His distribution was quite poor. I don't know
last night for sure.
I don't know why we continue to give him the ball. So there were things that I watched. I thought, well, why are they doing that? Because you can see he's struggling. So it might be all right defending, but let's play the ball down the other wing. I don't know. But by and large, I thought the game was okay. Nice to see Kuna score. I don't think we can give anything higher than a 6 for a defeat. So technically, it should have been a win. But yeah, and my moment of the day was I had a very, very nice curry last night.
You do love your curries, don't you, mate?
Yes.
You do. I've enjoyed a curry with you. Well, both me and Craig have had a nice curry as well, ain't we, Craig? With the when we're giving the Always Wolves football sevens. By the way, Craig was a monster in goal in the sevens. He broke his ribs playing in goal, didn't you? But,
I'm too old for it, Dave. That's for sure.
Well, mate, you did a great job. I say we got to the semi-finals anyway. Craig, same for you.
Yeah, I think my score's about 5.5, 6 max, but 5.5 because I think we start sloppy. Wang was my man of the match. He's just looking better every day, and for a big guy, his ball control's excellent. Really, really top draw. My moment of the day was the O'Neill interview after. I think he was articulate. I'd have been raging. How he kept his rage inside, I've got no idea. I think that he's well aware of the line where he's going to get fined, and he steps on the line, but he never goes over it. But he's showing them up in a very intelligent way, isn't he, without going over the line. So that was my highlight, the way that he kept his cool and his articulation of what is an appalling problem for us at the moment.
Well said. AJ?
Yeah, I watched the whole game. My man of the match, it was between Lamina and Wang, and really just because of their hunger as much as anything else.
Good point.
So those two. But again, like Craig's touched on, and I think Jack and everybody else tonight, Gary O'Neill was a class act. I mean, that's what everyone says. What a class act. But I'm thrilled that we've got a manager. He might not be the best manager in that division, but he the way he conducts himself is superb, and I'm proud to have him as our manager, really. So again, that would be my moment.
I think what you're trying to say there might not be a glamour, but he's a good manager. He's sort of buying into the ethos of the fans and the club and what it's all about, and trying to get a team to play as he said himself. He wants the team on the field to match the team off the field. So
and the other thing about him as well is that I think he does actually. He's quite naughty, isn't he? He does sort of saying, well, he lets everyone know that the ref has said he got it wrong before the ref has a chance to do it. There's a sort of mischievous but slightly underhand element of sort of passive aggressiveness there that I like, because he's just being truthful in a sport where there isn't much truth.
Well said. Well said. Did you have a performance rating, mate? Did you say that?
I said I want to say 6.5. I would even have gone to 7 because I think that we would have won that game. We would have won that game.
You know what?
If we'd won the game, everyone would have been saying 8. So that's why I'm almost veering towards 7. But there you go. I
felt in the stadium, and I'll come on to Sutty next. I felt in the stadium, even when we were losing 2-1, I felt we were going to win. I said to the thing, I went 2-2. I thought we'd go on and win it. I mean, Sutty, did you have that same sort of vibe as me, even when we were behind 2-1?
don't think we played bad, Dave. I think we were a yard slower than them first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
We opened up like a.
I mean, their goal was very similar to the Tottenham goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, we'd gone to sleep and we couldn't get hold of the ball and do much with it. Then we grew into it. And at 2-2,
I think that was a bit because we were missing Dawson, and it was a bit of an adjustment to Santiago getting up to the pace of the game.
Yeah,
He did improve as it went along.
It might be, Dave, but you've got to. Every team has to adjust to these things, don't they? Everybody's going to get a ban at some point. There's not many that don't get a one-game ban or whatever it is. But we've at 2-2. I said to my brother-in-law, I think we'll win this. But then we've obviously got, these people who clearly don't know what they're doing, like to stick a spanner in the works of Wolves, and I don't think we played bad. I'll give it a 7, Dave. We've played worse and won, like away at Everton and things like that. So I'll give the man of the match to Hwang.
Yeah,
he's outstanding. And just a quick point as well, Dave. If we carry on in this rich vein of form of having points taken off us, I deem they're getting stolen from us.
Yeah.
It means that every time that we step on the pitch, we actually play for a maximum of 2.25 points.
Yeah. And then what about your highlight or moment of the day?
Well, I was a little bit concerned as it was on TV and it was a Monday night, 8 o'clock kickoff. I thought, we ain't going to be very loud today, Dave. Well, Fulham must have wondered what had hit them, because we were.
Did you not think that that they were so quiet? They hardly murmured.
Well, Dave,
I've seen more noise in the morgue than what was at Fulham.
Yeah, Dave, let's be honest. When you go into a ground and you go into your stand in exactly the same turnstiles as the home support, you're not going to get a very ferocious atmosphere, are you? It's just not that kind of club, Dave. They'll sit there and applaud. You'll get the odd ripple of singing and what have you. That was one of my moments of the day. But my moment of the day, and you know how much I loved Lopetegui, I'm really proud of this manager. I'm not going to call him a coach because I actually believe he's managing this band of players and he's making them actually better players by coaching them and managing them to play for this club. And I think that we're going to be in a very decent place come next season when lots of teams and clubs have their financial fair play backsides felt.
I think you're right, mate. I think you make a very good point. And
just on that there, Dave, I think it's widely known, isn't it? There, I think it's 160 quid a game, some seats at Fulham now. So it may be a different caliber of people going to watch that match, and so that might be causing some of that.
Yeah, you put good points. I mean, they were going to have a protest, the Fulham Trust, but it got cancelled. I don't know whether it was because the weather was a bit chilly and they cancelled it, but they postponed that in the end. Richard, your performance rated man of the match and your highlight or moment of the day. It can be anything. It could be having a cup of tea and a biscuit if you want.
I'm going to go with a 7, and I'm going to give the man of the match to Lamina. In fact, I'm stuck between Lamina and Bellegarde because we haven't had a player, like someone said earlier, we haven't had someone to whip balls into the box for a long time, and he seems to be doing that. And I think my moment of the day is deciding to send my tickets back to the Molineux for the Nottingham Forest game because I'm that done with it, all the wokeness and crap. I've decided to just not go to any games. It's a 6-hour journey for me, home there and back. So
whereabouts are you based, mate?
I live in West Wales. I live just outside. I live 21 miles south of Aberystwyth.
So yeah, you've got a good 2.5 hour trek just to get to every home.
No, it's 3 hours and 15 minutes for me to get to the Molineux.
I know. So
yeah.
you're
I'm just
not going
it's
to
not
the
worth
Forest.
Yeah,
Are you going to the
it's-
Burnley game?
Say again.
Are you going to the Burnley game?
No, I tried to go to because I'm living so far away. I tried to go to 4 games a season.
Yeah.
I'm also a single dad, so you know I have to rely on a lot of things to slot into place to go to a game. But I'm not done with all the wokeness of what's happening at the moment. I'm just like, you know what? What's the point in me wasting?
And
Like
do you
Sutty
know
said,
what, Richard? Do you know what, Richard? There are a lot of fans out there that feeling the same at the moment. Jack has mentioned it to me. I mean, Chris, we've seen that on the Trust group. People are at the point where they're like, I'll spend my money and time and effort going to support my team. And you like I said earlier, you can go, there can be bloody a bag of poo and you can moan about the performance and all of that, but you moan about that, we've lost the game, and you can accept losing the game fair and square if we've been rubbish or the other team's been better than you. But when you spend your time and effort and money travelling to get to a game, and for you it's just to get to Molineux. I mean, like for us last night, me and Sutty, you know, and 3,000 others getting down there last night and making all our effort to get there, and then you're done by 4 VAR decisions, and you're coming out the game going, yeah, we didn't play brilliant. I think if it had been a draw, you know, we'd have took a point. But then to get killed at the end, like we did at Sheffield United, the previous away game, when it was, you know, we were poor second half, but we've managed to grind out a draw. But we lost the game again on a VAR penalty decision. You can understand why people are just, I've had enough of this, and I've fallen out of love with the game, and we don't want that. We love our club. We love our club with a passion. We love the colours. We love the badge we follow, and we love the away days going together. It's not just about the game. It's about the day. It's about the day when you go to a match. It's at the home game. It's about the whole experience. And when you come out feeling like you've been cheated,
if I'd have gone to Fulham, yesterday, it would have been an 8.5-hour drive for me yesterday.
Exactly.
There and back.
And
there and then 8.5 hour back.
Getting back at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. And some people obviously stayed over and come back today. You can understand why people are getting frustrated. And Wolves don't want that, the club. I mean, I saw something in the Match Day Experience group. It came from Russell. Obviously, they were talking about stuff, and Russell, although he didn't go into any details, he said, I can assure you that the club are not passive in regards to this. They are obviously making remonstrations about stuff. Can't go into any more than that. But it's also, at some point, the fans have got to make a statement. And that's what the old Gold Pack are trying to organise for Tuesday. And you've got to make a statement. You've got to get the images out there. You've got to get the media taking the pictures. You've got to get that visual out there, because they need to see that the fans are disenchanted. And if you start losing the fans from this game of ours, it's not a game anymore. We all lived through the pandemic, and they put the fake noise over the top, and we couldn't wait to get back to games, and everyone was excited to go back to Molineux and to go back to the away days. And when and less than 2 years later, you've got people like you that are sending their tickets back because they're so disenfranchised because of what's going on. It's a sad day. It's a sad day for football. A really sad day.
Dave, we started this, didn't we, talking about a band, right? And it's almost like you want to get PAPGMOL across your T-shirt. And John Lydon, Johnny Rotten saying, ever get the feeling you've been cheated?
Yeah.
You know, and it's that sort of thing.
I was meant to be taking my 6-year-old Finley to his first game for Forest. It was meant to be his first game. His first ever game.
And you're that disenfranchised that you sent your tickets back. Well, that's the message, isn't it, in itself?
Yeah.
Final words for everyone before we finish. That, guys, thank you ever so much for. We've had like 200 of you watching regularly, thousands more of you will watch it back on catch up, and thousands more will listen to it on the podcast when it goes up tomorrow morning. Any final thoughts? Thank you for everyone in the chat. Please smash a like if you've enjoyed the chat. If you're new, subscribe. All the offers, the t-shirts, the Christmas crackers, it's a cracker. The VPN offers are all in the links in the description below. Chris, final thoughts from you, final words?
Look, I mean, I don't want it to come across all doom and gloom. I went to, obviously, Spurs, the last home match. I sat there with my son, I think, half-time. And I have to say, I've really, really enjoyed going to Molyneux this season. I think the team, I've enjoyed going. I think we're gonna win most matches. I try and put the VAR thing aside and try and watch the match, and and I think the managers, as Keith says, is doing a great job, better than I thought he was going to do. I'll put my hands up, and I get behind him, and that's what we've got to keep doing. And I got to hope and believe, because the game I love, that all this VAR stuff's going to blow away at some point, and that's what I keep believing in. But we'll see.
Well said. Chris, Richard, any final words from you before we go to Craig? Then AJ and Sutty will finish.
Sending the tickets back, it does seem a bit rash, but I'm going to support the club in other ways. I'll buy my kid and myself an extra shirt or something like that, and support the club in other ways. And there is no. Round by me, there's loads of Wolves fans. There's no supporters group, so that's something we could look into doing, having another supporters group and stuff. But
yeah, you should look at setting that. And Richard, thank you for coming on and making your debut tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it.
Really have, and thank you for having me. But I've got to be up at 3 o'clock in the morning, so I'm going to be shooting off fairly soon.
That's fine, mate.
Yeah,
Craig, charismatic.
Yeah, the club. The players and the manager are doing everything for us that they can. So we can't ask much more of them, but we can ask a hell of a lot of the FA and the PG MOL. Sort it out, boys, because it's disastrous.
Well said. AJ, I know some people want you to play a little ditty on you.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, not on my debut, mate. Not on my debut. I'll think about that. Thoughts? The guy Go to Wolves with sent me a text earlier, and he says, "Do you know what? I'm done," and that's how I feel. I'm done, but I can't walk away from supporting the lads. And look, I understand Richard. He's got a long journey and a lot of other things to sort out. But I think we need to keep supporting our club and our manager and our players. But it's really tough to do that at the moment with the fact that we are being cheated, and it is cheating. So, but thank you ever so much for having me. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you.
I'm glad you've come on, mate, and we look forward to having both you and Richard on again. Hopefully now you've made your debut. And Sutty,
I'm part of the furniture now, Dave. You can't get rid of me.
I love it. Sutty, I'll leave the final word from tonight to yourself.
Keep it clean, Sut.
45 years, Dave, I've been following this football club home and away, and I think for probably 37 of those years I've been done every Saturday night. I'm done, I'm not going back. But it's like a magnet, Dave, isn't it? You can't not go back.
No, it
is,
mate. You cut all of us with bleed gold and black because we're so passionate about our club, and we'll have our disagreements as we do. We'll have our debates. We'll be on polar opposite sides sometimes of the debate. But the one thing that we've got, we're all friends. We all love our club, and we're all one pack, and we're stronger together. And on Tuesday at the weekend, are we there at Arsenal? We'll still be there. We've probably got no hope. We've got our midfield ripped out. We've got no chance. We'll probably go and win. That's just the Wolves way. Just how it goes. And then we've got Burnley, and I hope we do make a statement at that home game and everyone gets behind that, because we want to send the message in the right way that we are totally disenfranchised with this, and things have got enough. And as I said at the start of the show, enough is enough, and we take no more. And let's hope it does change, because this cannot go on as it is, not anymore. Anyway, guys, thank you ever so much for joining us. Hope you've enjoyed it. Have you enjoyed a good couple of hours watching this? It'll go out on podcast as well, but we'll break it into two halves. It'll be part 1 and part 2. So that part 1 will go out tomorrow morning. Part 2 will go out later on in the week as well, so you can listen to it back in bite-sized chunks. Thanks to all my guests tonight, and wherever you are in the world, even though VAR, it seems like it's always Wolves, the one thing is we are always Wolves, and we will always support our team no matter what. Good night, good bless, and love to you all.
Always Wolves.
See you, guys.
Thank you.